So, welcome back to a new update video. We will talk about today, is AMC now squeezing? Same for is GME now squeezing? We'll make a little update on BYND, and because someone wished it, we'll look in Xeon oil. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, I'm using the Fractal method. I will link the explain video at the end of this video, or you just search for the Fractal method. Well, then let's jump into AMC. So, was a kinda interesting day today. Yeah. Especially with the price action during the day and the market close. For the whole story, for the price targets I have, if it's a 1-part or a 2-part squeeze, I will link the last video after this video, because today we're just talking about what we did today. So let's zoom in. So I will present again 2 versions. There are only 2 versions left. Version 1, the bullish one, version 2, the bearish one. Sadly, there are 2 versions. I will show that. We start with the bullish version, so everyone is happy. That means this whole thing, yeah, this whole thing since first day, January 8th, was our higher low. This whole thing was our higher low, and in the best case, we finished that today. I said since January 8th, we have to finish this higher low in a V under A, and that means under the 0.786. We did that today. Perfect. So what would happen next in a bullish case? We would go up. I would say nothing really strongly over $2, but somewhere in this range. This would be our A. Then we just take the 0.5 fib from this peak. We do the 0.5 pullback. If we peaking at $2, that would be 170, and we would bounce here, and then we would absolutely fucking squeeze. Perfect. Yeah, that's the bullish case. For timeline, for the absolute bullish outlook, I would say you're doing this till Wednesday. You're doing the pullback till Friday. Next week, Monday, you're just running. If not, we could say we're doing this slowly till this Friday, falling the whole next week, and then a week after. So that would be 2nd week of February. You're doing the bounce. Everything is perfect. Okay, that is version 1. Version 2, and I really hate to show that. Yeah, version 2 means we going down from here. Yeah, version 2 means we touch, or of course break, $1.44. We will do a new low wherever it is, and then we have to start this whole shit again. Yeah? So higher low, going up to a 0.5 pullback, and then we squeeze. The thing is, 2 hours before market close, this looked very good. Yeah? So we made our T under the M, perfect. Knife down, perfect. Made our V and A, perfect, and added a little higher low. Problem with this is not a little higher low anymore. Yeah? It's a double button, and double buttons are not V's. They are shit. So whatever we are doing, even for the bullish version, you will break this level again. Yeah? There are no double buttons. For the bearish version, if you touch or break $1.46, I tell you, you will make a new low, and you will take more time for the squeeze. Yeah. If we do that, that's not next week anymore. Maybe end of February, but not next week. And I mean with touching or breaking. Yeah? As long as you're holding 1.47, everything is fine, and we can earliest squeeze next week. If you break under 147, you will make a new low. So now for GME. So here also, for the full story, for price targets, and I will link my last video. Today we're just talking what we did today. So let's zoom in. So for GME, I know you all don't like that. I still have two versions. Yeah? Still. But we start with the bullish one. With the bullish version, on October 1st was our T. We made a lower low. That would mean November 21st was our V. We made a higher low on December 31st. Then we added another one and we broke out of the trend. And that also means from tomorrow on, there should be upside. What upside? My target is still around $28, $30-ish. Yeah, $28, $30-ish. Not 35 or something like that, something in this range. This would be your A. And then same like bullish AMC, because if GME is going, AMC is going. If AMC is going, GME is going. They won't do their separate thing. You would reject here, fall back to your 0.5 bounce. That would be around, what is it, $23. And then you squeeze. For timing, I would also, in the most bullish way, you do this till Wednesday, you fall till Friday, next week, Monday, you go. If you take longer, this whole week you're doing till Friday this peak, whole next week you fall back to $23, and the week after you go. Everything is fine, super perfect. That would be version 1. Version 2, no, version 2, sadly, would still be this. Yeah? And I really hope myself I am wrong, because I did positioning today, because I see the bullish case. But version 2 means if you're not going up from tomorrow on, and we reject this level here, we will go down and make new lows. And again, my price target would still be 70.50. I already showed that. After that, higher low, and then you can go. This also means, of course, if GME is doing that, AMC, of course, will knife too. And to say that, what would be the earliest indicator for that? We made it since last Friday a perfect uptrend. Yeah. If you break this trend line, you might don't even see it because you just slide through it. But in my opinion, if you break 23, 24, or if you latest break under the trend line, under the wedge again, you will knife. Yeah. And what I mean with knife is still the same position. It would still be left side on the 1 hour is now, right side on the 4 hour is March 2024. Same position still. Yeah. You went with this candle over the peak. You went with this candle over the peak. Yeah. If you're not going up from here, and you really, I don't think even that would be slow. Here it wasn't slow either. I really think I'm 50-50 on that. And I hate that because I am in position. Yeah. But if I see something like that, I have to close this position. Yeah. It would be way, way more funnier if we would today just went upside. Yeah. If we're going to 28, this version is completely dead. Completely dead. Yeah. But as long as we are here, that's an absolutely shitty point right now. Yeah. So let's see. Let's see what AMC and GME will give us in the next days, because this answer we will get in the next days. I don't think we just slowly grinding up now or slowly grinding down. No, we get massive volume to the upside or massive volume to the downside. There is no other way, in my opinion, right now. Okay, Next one, BYND. So for BYND also, full story, I will link in the last video. Today, and for price targets, how long do we do that, and blah, 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 blah. Today, we just look what we have done. So let's zoom in. So for BYND, we had, I think it were 3 versions. With this price action today, we only have 2 versions left. Yeah? And both kinda right now are slightly downside. So we start with the absolute bearish version, with version 1. That means that this whole thing is not high or low. That this whole thing is just our T. Yeah, just our T. In that case, we have to go lower than 80 cents. And if we go lower than 80 cents, we still have the gap open to 66 cents. We will gap fill then. Yeah? And then we go. That is version 1. Pretty simple. For version 2, this whole thing is just the higher low of this big higher low, and not T. So this is not T, it's just higher low. This little higher low finished on Wednesday 31st, and we're just adding a micro higher low. In the previous tracking, I said we had still the chance here. The M was here, the T was here, and we still had the chance that this is just our little micro higher low, and in that case, we would have gone up from here. Well, we clearly didn't, we broke it. So in that case, this was clearly our M. We might even do a T right now, or this was already our T, we will see. But your end target is still what I showed last time. The 0.786 is at 86 cents. The real A bottom is at 85 cents. So you will have to go under 84 cents. Yeah, at least. You have to bounce here. If you bounce here, everything is finished, and you can go up. Boom. If you break, in my opinion, under 82 cents, the likeliness that you will break 81 cents is very high, and in that case, you will go down to 66 cents, gap fill, and then we get our run. For upside, why ever? Yeah? If you go over $1, 1 cent, I think still the bearish alternatives are dead, and we are going. Pretty simple. Okay. And the last one? Last one is Znog. Znog is Cyan oil. I don't know how to spell it. Because someone wished that I look at it. I mean, it's a penny stock, which is also OTC. But I mean, it's your decision. What I found, I think, is pretty clear. You have your all-time highs in February 2009. Then you made your lower high, your midpoint, your T. And for bullish tracking, because I mean, it's an old company, but it's not really a lot of price action in my opinion. And that's the weekly chart. I say that too. But for the bullish tracking, your V was September 30, 2024. And I still think since then you're doing your macro higher low. Yeah. And in my opinion, you might already at the peak of this higher low. So right now, you still would have come down to where? Well, you would come down under 0.5 cents for your V under A for the finish of this macro higher low. I mean, it don't have to be that long. I only showed that for the landmarks. You might just do something like this. So up, down, up, down, up, down, huh? Yeah. But in my opinion, you have to go lower than 0.054 cents. And then you can go. Your next target after that, whenever it is 1.73 for your A. You might do then whenever this happening. I mean, if this happening in July, for example, your 0.5, yeah, would be here. Breakout retest. And then you would go to your B. Your B would be around $7. In that case, you would do then the 0.5 from your A down to $1.26. And then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? If it's doing these pullbacks. We don't know how it was behaving before, but I would even say that this here could be already your B, so you should get the 0.5 pullbacks. Yeah. So it may be reasonable. If it survives that. Yeah. And I say that absolutely clearly, if it survives that. There are cases where it's just delisting. Yeah. The Fractal can't provide info if a stock is delisting or not. Yeah? If it survives that, it will go up again. If it's delist down here, yeah, then it's over. Okay. Well, let's see what AMC and GME will give us in the next days. We should get a lot of answers. Right now, I am bullish, but I'm getting a little bit worried. Okay, as always, if you liked it, leave a like. Explanation video comes here. Playlist here. Video for the full stories of the stocks comes here. And if you want to see more, you can give me a number. See you tomorrow.